Mr. McCarthy here. In this video, I am going to show you some of the basics of applying effects to clips on your timeline. For today's lesson, we're going to be applying the fade. We're going to fade in, we're going to fade out. Okay? So we're going to be working with effects controls up here, and as you can see, no clips selected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to my timeline and I'm going to select this clip, no tripod. And when I do, some beginning effects controls show up. Before I get started, I want to show you that no tripod, this is the exact same clip. The only difference between our timeline down here and this timeline up here is this is where you apply the effects. And this is what we're going to show you. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a simple fade in. What I mean by fade in is instead of the words just simply appearing suddenly, we're going to have them slowly appear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the very beginning of this clip. And here we go. All right. So as far as fading goes, we're working with opacity. Opacity is the ability to turn on and off clips visually. Okay. So as you can see on this line here, the opacity of no tripod is 100%, which means it's 100% visible. Since we want to start with a black screen, what we're going to do is we are going to turn this all the way off. We're going to turn it down to 0. Before we do that, we're going to mark a spot on this timeline. We're going to mark a spot with this, add, remove, keyframe. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. What I want you to notice is that little diamond, or at least visibly half of that diamond, appears there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this down to 0. Now if we were to leave it like this, the entire clip for no tripod would stay at 0. So instead of that, we're going to move forward in time. We'll move forward in time a second or two here, and then we're simply going to turn this back up to 100. Notice what happens to the timeline. By changing that 0, a new keyframe, or diamond here, appears. Now let's go back to the beginning, and we can see there is a fade in. We want that fade in to appear more slowly. We just spread this out, and it more slowly appears. If we want that fade in to be super quick, we could just bring these two diamonds together. Okay? So we're going from 0 to 100%. Now what we're going to do here at the end of this clip is we're going to fade out. So we're going to move towards the end of the clip. And because we want this to stay at 100% through most of it, we're going to mark this spot. This spot is also at 100%. This spot is 100%. This spot is 100%. After that second 100%, we want to turn it down. So I'm going to move it forward. I'm going to turn this to 0. And as you can see, another keyframe was added. And so what we have is from 0 opacity, no visibility, to 100% visibility, to turning down to 0. Okay? And so what I would like you to do in today's class is apply that to all of your titles. And then I'm going to ask you to apply it to your clips as well. Okay, so I'm going to apply it one time to this clip that I've worked with. What I want to point out is, close this for a second. Here is my opacity. We're going to come to the beginning of 120. This is 120. I have it selected. Open my opacity. There's my 100%. I'm going to mark that spot. Turn it down to 0. Move forward. Turn it up to 100%. Move to the end of the clip. We'll just call it right here. Mark that spot at 100. We want everything between these two to be 100 before we turn it down to 0. And since that 0 is happening here, I'm just going to end the clip. I'm sort of shortening it, and you can see the effect right there. So let's take a look at this clip in motion. And here it begins. So a nice slow fade in. too slow in my book. We can speed that up again. Get closer here. And I want it to balance out at the end there. Okay? And then at the end here, we are going to fade out on this very talkative person. Bye-bye. All right, this is Mr. McCarthy signing off.